this is a matter that is likely that has to be addressed without hesitation. And so that's why I say there's likely more than one abomination that maketh desolate, which will stand in the holy place. And I've already concluded that one of those abominations, the big one at this point in time, is pollution. Is, you know, like it says in the Bible, pharmakeia, and that's another word for chemical, and you know, you could look at exhaust fumes as chemical. You could look at these you know, these chemical processing plants and that sort of thing, chemical, pharmakeia. And so I don't question that pollution is one of them at this point in time. A very big one, by the way. I mean, it's big enough to call it an abomination that make it desolate. And likely one of the reasons why they've also been against me is because I have had this mask for quite a while, since the company before the one that owns this one was in business producing them. And I'd say that's close to 10 years. And they are very concerned, from what it appears, that I'm going to be telling people that the abomination that maketh desolate is pollution. It's one of them. That's why I say there may be more than one, but that's the big one right now. And you know, they've had their opportunity to address the matter, and they haven't done it, because there's really until now, until the times of the end, which is where we are, there basically was no pollution from that type of substance. You know, chemicals, you know, vehicle exhaust, none of that. Because I'll tell you, man, if you want to talk about standing in the holy place, that stands in the holy place, you're talking about things that very likely do not. They'll do damage to your holy place, which is your, and like I've said before, it's your brain. That is the holy place. And so when the abomination that maketh desolation stands in the holy place, when you see the abomination that maketh desolation stand in the holy place, let those who are in Judea flee unto the mountains. If we allow ourselves to be destroyed by this pollution and these chemicals and these things that could stand in the holy place, that could destroy our minds, which is greatly a part of our ability to communicate, and who knows how much it has to do with our spiritual communication with God and the Holy Spirit, then that is, I mean, if not for the elect's sake, there should no flesh be saved. And that could possibly be why that I have been also set aside until the time of the end. this right here, I've been wearing this for 10 years. Or I would say close to 10 years. I'm not going to give a specific amount of time, but it's been close. And I've been ridiculed, and the first, almost one of the main things that these people try to do is they try to guilt you into not protecting yourself or to not doing something that they're trying to keep you from doing, so it opens up a way that they could possibly do something that they're intending to do. And this isn't a joke. And I'll tell you right now that I don't question that there are more than one abomination that make it desolation. But I don't question that pollution is a big one. And drugs, of course, but pharmakeia could be also as much as the chemicals as that could damage your physical brain, as much as ones that you're able to get some sort of derived experience from, preferred experience, or more other experiences that may be more appealing than just burning it up. And so that is very likely one of the things that people should be doing right now, is planning on getting rid of these chemicals and this petroleum, and however they have to do that. Otherwise, like I say, it is likely time just to get away from these people. And you go to a place like some place where they produce a lot of goods, and it could get a whole lot worse. So at this point in time, in this country, we still have some clean air, breathable air, that doesn't seem to have this noticeable harmful effect. But I don't question that there's countries that you could possibly go to where that may not be the case. And not only here we still have some, but I've noticed that there are a lot of places where they do daycare and child care that are positioned right off of major thoroughfares, and I mean freeways, 8 lanes of traffic, and there's child care centers right there, and their playground is feet away from 8 lanes of traffic in enclosed areas. And the same with I've seen some further out in the suburbs, and even though they were further out in the suburbs and it was a little bit wider open, there were so many vehicles that used those roads, it was possibly worse than the ones in the city that I've seen. And you're talking toddlers and that sort of thing that are likely being affected by it. I don't question this is a very serious matter that they're not telling you about. When I saw the most recent person to discuss it, they were discussing how the alternative fuel was dangerous, and and in a way that I have certainly not heard of. And so if it's dangerous in a way that I haven't heard of, then I don't question it's easily less concerning than the one that is in place now. And if you want to know about how they get people to accept it, you can see that basically every vehicle runs on petroleum. And if you're going to and fro, you're likely using petroleum or know somebody that does. And so, you know, that's basically what's going on. And I have to even say it. I just, you know, right now they're going to keep doing the distractive content, their narratives, these guns and glory and God platforms that are basically usurping me, and the others that are false witnesses and false prophets and that sort of thing that are basically trying to replace me are there for the purpose of steering you away from the things that I tell you. And this is another one. I'm kind of saying that in a way that you may have not been made aware of, but I understand some of these things and how important they are. Because I've seen people, believe it or not, that seem very aware that this is what's going on. I was talking to somebody in the store the other day and told them that I've ridden the bus, right? And this is like MTC. This is like a state bus system. And besides all the other machinations they do that involve me, when I've been on these buses, they've started making buses with windows that do not open, as far as I've seen. The only one window that appears to open and close without being an emergency type escape situation is the one next to the driver, where they can keep that fresh air coming in, and then they have that plastic door that shuts, clear plexiglass door that also separates them from the air that's inside that bus. And I've been on those buses and they fill with exhaust. I mean, I was speaking with some person. I don't question they'd be okay if I said female. And they and I were discussing it, and their eyes were actually watering, and they were amazed. They were not a regular bus rider, and they had gotten on that bus and their eyes were watering from the exhaust inside. And we're talking about, that's a bus that goes out to a wealthy neighborhood, but it was an MTC. It was a city or state owned bus. Some of the more private buses are much nicer. I've ridden one before and it's like night and day. And so one of the things that they've been doing to kind of get people to go along with it is that they've set up these systems of entertainment, like Formula One and NASCAR and that sort of thing, where the cars just basically go around and burn fuel until one of them crosses the finish line. I mean, that's it. And you know, and they get people to participate in that and pay to go there. So they're just like, not unlike they do to me, where I pay rent to have them basically torture me in their building. They also get people to pay them to go to a place where they actually ingest fumes for however long that is, on top of course, the buses and the cars. And I used to have, or the vehicles, and I used to have where I would stop at a corner, and I would have some of these like taxi cabs and stuff pull up right next to me and just sit there. And these vehicles are so quiet, these new ones are so quiet. If I didn't have this mask on, or if I wasn't paying attention, it could have done some damage. And I don't question that, you know, every once in a while there was some damage being done. So if anybody doesn't think that there's likely more than one abomination that maketh desolate, but this petroleum and these chemicals and these drugs and that sort of thing are another one. And that's for sure the one that I would bring up, being that this is where I am now. I've not seen the Antichrist. I've not seen anybody that can compete with me in the spiritual realm. I've basically got that covered. But these other things are the things that are much more difficult to deal with. I mean, these are basically, you know, abominations that maketh desolation. And if you're one of those in Judea, which are the chosen, flee unto the mountains. Flee. Because this stuff is that serious. You may be able to recover for a while, you know. You may be able to, like, okay, bounce back, you know, refresh, but there may be a time when that's just not going to be the case. And that should probably be something of concern to a lot of people, especially the Christians. So, you know, there you go. There's a little bit more of what I've been trying to say, besides these fake Judeans, you know, concern trolls that go out and try to pretend or try to claim that they're representing God or Jesus, or claim to know where he is here, he is there. Go not with them. They have a form of godliness, but deny the power thereof. I'm the power thereof. I'm the number one Christian as far as I'm concerned. I still am as far as I'm concerned. And that's what this is on me for. To keep it that way if I can help it.